Yeah, a little bit low.
Okay, sure. Sure. No problem. See, basically, expectations ఏంటి లైక్ ఒక ఇండస్ట్రీ పర్సన్ వచ్చి మీతో మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు వాట్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ఆర్ ఎక్స్పెక్టింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు హియర్ ఫ్యూ ఇన్పుట్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్ సో దట్ ఐ కెన్ కవర్ దోస్ టాపిక్స్. Anyone, either Satvik or Sirchandana or Vikas, this guy has it, or Shravan, anyone. Definitely, I'm not going to make it as a like a one-way communication. It should be like two-way. You people should speak or you people should ask, and then I will respond according to that.
I have a small doubt.
Yeah, sure. Go
So
ahead.
interview will be based on theoretical knowledge or on problems. Will
Sorry?
they give us problems to solve? Will the interview be based on theoretical knowledge or problems? And the written
Okay,
examination
that's a
as
good. Okay, that's a good question. So I would like to say it's up to the like say for example, every organization will have their own way of goals and their own way of recruiting process. Okay, we cannot compare any organization interview process with another one. Okay, that is a basic fundamental thing that we need to understand. జనరల్గా స్టూడెంట్స్ ఎలా ఉంటారు అని అంటే యాజ్ జస్ట్ అట్ ద ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ బీటెక్ 4th year, okay, let's try to complete C++, and then let's try to see some brush up some EC core related subjects so that it will be useful for all the companies. But generally how companies are thinking things is like see, I have a position, I have an open position for this particular work, for this particular demo. Okay, so they will look for only those qualities. Say for example, if I am working in a computer vision domain, that is an applicable for, that is a most expandable area in the both for EC and CSC guys, right? So as a computer domain expert, so basically I will look for basic fundamental things like computer vision లో like image processing అంటే ఏంటి, లేకపోతే CRs like image and DSP అంటే ఏంటి, digital signal processing ఎలా వర్క్ చేస్తుంది, what are the different types of transformations we have like FFT, DFT, all those stuff. So those will be definitely expected. But at the same time, we belongs to an EC students, right? So for us, it will be like weightage of like 50% to the core domain and at the same time 50% to the programming part. Even though if you have a complete clear understanding of what is FFT, what is DFT, but at the end of the day, everything you need to put it that into the some embedded platform like mobile or some automated cars like ADAS technology that is coming up. So alantapudu you need to have at the same time you need to have the core knowledge at the same time basic complete programming part as well. So that's how the company people will look at it. Is my is my explanation is answering your query?
yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, let me share one example. Say recently we interviewed one guy. He's from NIT Trichy, and he has completed 5 years of experience. Okay, and like he's very well prepared to the interview, and if we ask some questions like with respect to the highly programming part, he is able to answer the questions. But we are say as a recruiter, we are not in a position to reject him because he is answering all the questions very perfectly. And at the same time, somehow we felt like, okay, I don't have any strong feeling on that. So as internally within an organization, we will send another person to see how things are going with respect to him. And so at that point of time, నేను ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేశాను, నాకు ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ బాగా పర్ఫెక్ట్గా అనిపించింది, but ఎక్కడో I felt like some unhappiness. Then I sent one the other person. He also had the same kind of feeling. Then we consolidated both the things, like where exactly he is strong and where exactly he is weak. And we sent a third person for the interview to only focus on his weak part, to see how good he is and what thought process he is. తను ఎలా ఆలోచిస్తున్నాడని తెలుసుకోవడానికి. Then we were able to see like in the third round, he has very weak in the basics, even though that means what exactly the whole process conveys to us is like he is very well prepared for the interview, but he missed the fundamentals. So this is one of the example. We rejected. We rejected him. Okay, that means ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి నేను వెళ్ళి నేను ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఇస్తాను అనేది దట్స్ ద I mean preparation is will help you definitely at till one particular point of time, but at the same time what I'm trying to say is we should not forget the basics. And this is one story. And another story was like I interviewed one guy who was like answering the questions like very slowly, but his thought process was good. The way he is approaching to the problem is really nice, though he is not very well prepared. But the way he is approaching, say for example a question again, he may not be coming to the directly to the final solution, but he is thinking and he is able to convince his thought process on the fly. He got selected, and he was performing very well in our organization. So basically what exactly company is looking for is how our thought process is generally for any recruitment, whether it be off campus or whether it be on campus or whatever it may be. Even if you are getting some experience of 3 to 4 years, and after that if you are applying for different company, people will see how you are approaching the problem. Is the thought process is really impressive or not? That's how people will. And written test and interview complete this process is just to limit the few numbers out of bunch of say 100 people. See, ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్ ఒక కాలేజ్కి వెళ్తుంది అన్నప్పుడు there are some around 100 to 200 members are shortlisted, but everyone cannot be interviewed because probably they might have some requirements only for 2 to 3 positions, so they need to cut off some people in between. So that's how the process is. But ultimately the people in the, if you are selected for the interview, then people will look for thought process rather than the end results. Hope this is helpful to you. Hello.
Yeah, Vikar. Hello.
Yeah. సో జనరలీ ఇలా చూస్తుందండి కంపెనీ ఎనీహౌ, అంటే ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా యూ నో వన్ విల్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ 100% ఆన్ ద ఇంటర్వ్యూ స్టమ్, బట్ ద పీపుల్ విల్ లుక్ ఫర్ హౌ యూ ఆర్ అప్రోచింగ్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్. If everyone is approaching the problem in a different manner and everyone is impressive, then the result will definitely matter. But the more priority will be given to the thought process and how we are taking the thing, because the interview lo gaani written test lo gaani adige questions, so definitely it won't be applied directly straight away at the real time development activities that companies are doing. Okay. Say for example you have an experience in the C based applications, or with the image processing. So I think probably image processing is one of the core subjects, right? Maybe in the third 3, 2 or 4 one. So if we take a simple example like image rotation, okay, the concept would be like it will be completely 90% flip, 90 degrees clockwise or anti-clockwise. చూడడానికి ప్రాబ్లం సింపుల్గా అనిపిస్తుంది, బట్ ద యాక్చువల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఇస్ వెన్ యూ ఆర్ ఫ్లిప్పింగ్ ద ఇమేజెస్ ఇట్ విల్ బి లైక్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా మ్యాప్ అవ్వదు. ఏమంటారు, ఇంటర్పోలేషన్స్ అవ్వదు. కొన్ని పిక్సెల్స్ని it will be like black holes form అవుతాయి. So how you are filling black holes, how you are approaching that problem, are you going for the interpolation, what kind of interpolation you are going, like linear or bilateral. So all these things are matter. How you are approaching the problem అనేది అక్కడ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. And again, that is a theoretical part. To do that, you need to have a practical implementation, very hands-on experience on the programming part. That is in C or C++. Okay. Any other any questions? I'm expecting it. I mean, yeah, it should be an interactive. See, if one girl has asked one question, right, that that is really good, and few inputs are came out of that question. So I am expecting more questions from students itself, so that it will be more important.
సార్ ఈ ఇంటర్వ్యూ కాకుండా ముందు రాసే టెక్నికల్ ఎగ్జామ్ ఆర్ ది మెయిన్ ఎగ్జామ్ అది ఏం ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు లైక్ ద పోర్షన్ ఆర్ ద స్టఫ్ దట్ దే ఆస్క్ అన్నట్టు.
Okay, see, it's something similar like a preliminary exam, Spandan. Your name is Spandan, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is something like a preliminary exam to, in general, whatever you call it as, like they will, I mean, it varies from company to company. In few service oriented companies, right, they will ask them like logical questions and at the same time aptitude questions and English questions, because without that, if everyone is coming to the interview, they cannot like spend each and every time with the people, right? I mean, they can, and they cannot reject each and every people. That's like a preliminary exam to filter out few of the bottom candidates from the list. That's it, not more than that. And in most of the cases, those questions will be very basic in the sense very basic. Say for example, if you take DSP from the EC point of view, it could be any diode related question, or it could be anything, or any DSP related, like what is the jet transform equations, or those kind of questions. But mostly it will be very preliminary questions that I don't know whether now also you have the same question, same kind of pattern or not, but we used to have our internals will be there, right? Other than mid we used to have mid exams, right? Three will be like online quiz oriented 20 and another 3 will be subjective. So it will be like our preliminary exams only, question answer ABCD, something like that. And if you have basic knowledge across all the topics that they are expecting, then you should be able to clear that preliminary test, written test. And most of the companies will definitely see for English and then basic aptitude and logical reasoning. The main reason for aptitude and logical reasoning is those will cover the how people are thinking, whether he is good with the basic stuff, those kind of stuff. And no one is going to apply the percentage calculations in the company, but that will tell you like, okay, this guy is able to apply some mind to get some clarity. So that's how they will think, not more than that. So, is that fine, Spandan?
Yes, sir, yes, sir, I understand.
Yeah, let me tell you my experience where, yeah, అంటే స్టూడెంట్స్గా ఉన్నప్పుడు we will do mistakes and professors or teachers will cover them. But once we landed onto the job, no one will behind you. Like you will be completely responsible for what you are doing. Okay, so అందరిలాగే నేను మిస్టేక్ చేశాను. లెట్ మీ టెల్ యూ మై ఓన్ స్టోరీ వేర్ ఐ డిడ్ మిస్టేక్ and people, no one tell anything to them. Like you know Samsung, right? And how many of you know Samsung company as a company? And in 2014 or so, like I went to this one HQ headquarter, Seoul, South Korea. Okay, there సామ్సంగ్ వాళ్ళు అప్పుడే ప్రోడక్ట్ రిలీజ్కి, అంటే మొత్తం మా ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇది సామ్సంగ్ గెలాక్సీ S4 ఐ గెస్, మేము ప్రోడక్ట్ రిలీజ్కి మేము ఇది చూపిస్తాము అని చెప్పేసి మార్కెట్లో డిస్ప్లే పెట్టుకున్నారు. ఆ టైంలో ఐ డిడ్ ఏ వెరీ బేసిక్ ఫండమెంటల్ వర్క్, and because of that my complete gallery was crashing. And gallery and camera are the most key features that anyone wants to see when the new product is coming out. So because of some work pressure or something, somehow I did my mistake, and immediately with just after coming to the office, I noticed myself and I rectified it and I gave to them. So eland situation lo they say only one thing, like, అంటే వాళ్ళు ఏమన్నారు అంటే, See, you did something mistaken, that is fine, but later you yourself came back and able to rectify the issue, and so the whole big event అనేది ఇంపాక్ట్ అవ్వలేదు. దట్స్ వేర్ పీపుల్ అప్రైజ్ చేశారు ఇన్స్టా ఆఫ్ ఏమంటారు థ్రోయింగ్ బ్యాక్ సమ్ స్టోన్స్ అని అంటారు. సో బేసికలీ వాట్ ఐ వాంట్ టు సే ఈస్ వెన్ యు ఆర్ ఆన్ ద జాబ్ always be cautious. That is number one. That's what I learned from that experience. And always be open to accept your mistakes. That is another thing. If you don't tell because of some afraid or something, then the complete event will get flopped and definitely people will catch you at the end. So instead of that, ఎంత ఎర్లీగా మీరు మిమ్మల్ని మీరు అంటే తప్పు చేసినా సరే, నో వన్ విల్ సే ఎనీథింగ్ టు యూ. జస్ట్ దే విల్ సింప్లీ సే ఓకే, you have done some mistake, but you are able to you are able to fix that and provide the complete stability without any stability issues. You are able to completely fix that. So people will uprise. Acceptance is the main key in the industry, and honesty is the main key in the industry. First of all, how many of you guys are really interested into the core domain? Like, see, after completing the BTech, right, generally people will go to CSE-oriented companies, and basically the most tentative part will be like complete salary, like what is a CTC, who is giving the bigger one, people will tend to go there. But thing is, how many of us are really interested in the core companies? We have pretty lot of very good opportunities in the core companies. Like if you take ADAS technology, like automatic driving system, that is completely coming up. That is completely with respect to the microprocessor, microcontrollers, and on the embedded platforms with completely like computer vision, art of computer vision technology. And if you see any mobile development, that is like camera development or graphics development, and see if you take like nowadays people are playing PUBG like anything. But if even if you want to play PUBG, then you need to have the graphics support that is available on the embedded platform, be it in mobile or tablet or whatever it may be. And this is the place where our electronics engineers are playing major role. Maybe may not be visible directly to the end users, but we are playing a major role. Yeah, please ask questions so that it will be more interactive.
Ask any questions, Spandan or Amruta. Vikas.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Venkat.
Srikar, sir.
Yeah, Srikar.
Sir, వాళ్ళు like minimum requirements లో they mentioned like you want to know one scripting languages, Python or Perl. If interview లో in case they want to write us code, which is better, sir? Like in Python or Perl to write the code?
See, any script, either be it in Python or Perl or C or C++, the fundamental thing people will see at it is how good your logic is. Okay. So let me tell you an example here. Say if I ask you a question like, I am giving you a binary number 1 followed with zeros. Okay, so 1 followed with zeros. I'm just giving an example, but it can be. Okay, so 1 followed with zeros means the number of pattern will be 1 0 1 double 0. That means 10, 100, 1000, and 10,000, and so on. And if my input sequence is, I will give you a simple number, and it will be any one of these. And if I ask you to find out how many zeros in it, any zeros in it, and find out cheyali and adiginappudu, how you are going to approach that problem, that is more important rather than which language you are using it. Okay, say for example, if I am asking you to write a program in C, generally ఎలా రాస్తారు ఇప్పుడు దట్ టెండెన్సీ విల్ బి లైక్ వైల్ లూప్ రాసేసి బై 10 చేసేసి నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్ ఎనీ టైమ్ జీరో వస్తున్నాయో చూసేసి అకౌంట్ ఇచ్చేస్తారు. బట్ అదర్ దాన్ దట్, ఇఫ్ యూ సింప్లీ యూజ్ లాగ్ n టు ద బేస్ 10, a simple mathematical formula, got it right? A simple mathematical formula, if you use log n to the base 10, that means log 10 power n to the base 10, that means that will give the n, that means that it gives the number of zeros in it. But if you take a first approach, it will be like while loop with complete complexity will be order of n. But if you take this the second one, it is simple one line statement with a simple mathematics. So which one is good here? And the way you write the program will convince your presence of mind and will convince your thought process. So it doesn't matter which language we are using, but only thing is they expect is if you have the basics of Perl and Python, yeah, that is sufficient for them.
Okay, sir.
Got it right? Like
Yes.
You need some more clarity.
No.
Yeah, okay.
I got it.
Yeah, since you asked, let me tell you my own experience. It was in 2011, somewhere around December. I went for an like campus placements only in IIT Kharagpur, and it was like from morning to evening. I went for almost like 8 rounds for a simple IBM interview. IBM, that is a research profile. They asked like ఒక ప్రొఫైల్ కోసం అని చెప్పేసి ఒక రకంగా ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేశారు, ఇంకొక ప్రొఫైల్ కానీ ఇంకో రకంగా ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేశారు. అట్ ద ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద డే 8 అయ్యేసరికి I was like on the next step, on the next day, Samsung was there. That was my dream company, and that too for electronics. And these people are like, still they want to take an interview. I told them like, okay, boss, you are already enough. I already gave you 8 rounds. It is up to you whether you like how you want to take a decision. Generally, when we are interviewing, right, it is interviewer responsibility to conclude, like either accept it or reject it within very few shots of round. People should not take those many rounds. I told them, okay, you wait here, I'll go and I'll take a little test for Samsung. That's what I told them. And then ఆడిటోరియంలో సామ్సంగ్ కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు పెద్దగా అంటే లైక్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్ ఇస్తారు కదా ఎన్ని ప్లేస్మెంట్స్కి వచ్చినప్పుడు. దే వర్ సింప్లీ సేయింగ్, ఓకే, the one that is projecting on the screen is something different than the one that is orally coming out of the presenter. Okay, then I simply raised my hand. Then the nearby person came and saying, I was fully saturated and I was frustrated with this process completely. ఎలా ఉంది అని అంటే రిటర్న్ టెస్ట్ పెడతారా, వెళ్ళి పడుకుంటాను, నాకు ఇంకా జాబ్ వచ్చినా రాకపోయినా పర్లేదు అన్నట్టుగా అంత ఫ్రస్ట్రేషన్లో ఉన్నాను. ఆ ఫ్రస్ట్రేషన్లో ఐ జస్ట్ టోల్డ్ ఓన్లీ వన్ థింగ్, సి ద ప్రజెంట్ పీపీటీలో ఒకటి ఉంది, యూ గైస్ ఆర్ టెల్లింగ్ వన్ థింగ్, దట్ దీస్ టూ ఆర్ కాన్ఫ్లిక్టింగ్ ఈచ్ అదర్. అండ్ ఐ టోల్డ్ దెమ్ అండ్ దే కరెక్టెడ్ ఇట్, అండ్ దట్ వాస్ ద ఇంప్రెషన్ they got on me on that day itself. And the interview process gaani edani gaani, it went very smoothly and I got selected for Samsung. So I'm not saying like if more interviews are coming, if you are giving more interviews, it means that you will be selected for sure. If you are giving less interviews, you are rejected for sure. That's not the criteria. But what I'm trying to say here is, always we should have a presence of mind in the complete whole interview process. It is up to them whether they want to take it or not. If they won't take it, then we will be having a better option ahead for us. So if we have the presence of mind, then you will get the better thought process. Then if you have the better thought process, then you will have the like clear better solutions, like log and reservation. That is a simple example, like something similar to that. And one thing I can clearly say is, do not panic, and do not tense at all. ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేసే వాళ్ళు ఎవరో చాలా పెద్దవాళ్ళు, కంపెనీ ఆయనకు అన్నీ తెలుసు అనుకోవచ్చు, బట్ దే డోంట్ నో ఎనీథింగ్. యు ఆర్ ద గైస్ హూ నో ఎవ్రీథింగ్, అండ్ యు ఆర్ జస్ట్ స్టిల్ విత్ ద బుక్స్, బట్ దే ఆర్ కంప్లీట్లీ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ద బుక్స్ అండ్ దే డోంట్ నో ఎనీథింగ్. దే ఆర్ సింప్లీ నో వాట్ దే ఆర్ డూయింగ్, అండ్ దే విల్ ట్రై టు క్యాచ్ థింగ్స్ ఫ్రమ్ వాట్ దే ఆర్ డూయింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ సీట్. దట్స్ ఇట్, నాట్ మోర్ దన్. వెంకట్ క్లియర్ అయిందా, లేకపోతే ఇంకేమైనా క్వశ్చన్? సారీ శ్రీకర్.
సార్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఒక డౌట్ సార్.
యా షూర్ ప్లీజ్.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు ప్రెసెంట్ ఆన్ గోయింగ్ జరుగుతున్న ప్రాజెక్ట్ని రెజ్యూమేలో యాడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చా సార్?
యా యూ కెన్, నథింగ్ రాంగ్ ఇన్ ఇట్.
అంటే ఒక డౌట్ సార్, యాక్చువల్లీ ఆఫ్ క్యాంపస్ జాబ్స్ పడుతున్నప్పుడు ఐ వాజ్ ట్రైంగ్ టు అప్లై కంపెనీస్, లైక్ చాలా చేశాను సార్, నియర్లీ ఒక 6 to 7, బట్ దెర్ ఈజ్ నో రెస్పాన్స్ ఫ్రమ్ దెన్ సైడ్. అంటే ఒక కంపెనీకి అయితే రిఫరెన్స్ కూడా ఇచ్చాను సార్, అంటే మా ఫ్యాకల్టీ వాళ్ళే ఇచ్చారు, బట్ ఐ స్టిల్ కుడెంట్ గెట్ ఎనీ అప్డేట్ ఫ్రమ్ దోస్ సైట్స్. సో వాట్ అంటే ఎందుకు అలా ఉంటాయి?
There are several factors, Srikar. Okati, the first thing come to my mind is, okay, నేను రెస్యూమ్ పంపించాను, వాళ్ళకి నచ్చచ్చు నచ్చకపోవచ్చు, నచ్చలేదు అనుకోండి, ఇట్ విల్ బి ఆన్ హోల్డ్, యూ వోంట్ గెట్ ఎనీ కాల్. నో వన్ విల్, ఐ మీన్ ఇలాంటి రిఫరల్స్ కానీ లేకపోతే రెస్యూమ్స్ రావడం కానీ, ఫర్ ఎ సింగిల్ కంపెనీ ఇట్ విల్ బి ఫ్లడెడ్ లైక్ ఎనీథింగ్. ఎవ్రీ వన్ విల్ ఫ్లడ్ దేర్ రెస్యూమ్స్, రైట్? But company or any organization cannot go back and see, tell like, okay, this is the reason you are getting on hold or rejected. Ideally, if they are coming back and communicating to the people like students or engineers, that will be really good. That they will improve on themselves. But that is not happening. That is number one. Number two, okay, let's assume they like your resume or your CV and everything, but the situation will be like, they need to find the respective open position in that, right? Vallaku open position lekunda they cannot recruit, right? The question is, if they don't have any open position, recruitment position lenappudu, why they will hire a new person, and why and hire cheskunna tarvata how they will allocate a work to that guy? So that's the problem. And third problem will be, they have the let's say they have the position and they have the this one, they like the resume, but they don't have the budget concerns are the very important in any organization. And that budget, if someone is going to allocate some resource, right, and that budget should be funded for the lifetime of that particular company. They cannot simply say like, okay, I'm going to, after this particular time I'm going to lay off. That they cannot do it, right? They have to obey the government laws. So that is the budget is the another criteria. There are several factors like this, Srikar.
Okay sir.
Have you like విన్నారా ఇప్పటివరకు ఇలాంటివి ఏమైనా డిఫరెంట్ ఫ్యాక్టర్స్ ఉంటాయి అని చెప్పేసి?
అంటే కాస్ట్ కట్టింగ్ ఒకటి ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో ఇంక్లూడ్ అయ్యి ఉంటది, సో దాన్ని బట్టి అని ఒకటి తెలుసు సార్ అది.
అండ్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్ ఏంటి అని అంటే, శ్రీకర్ హియర్ సే యూ అప్లైడ్ ఫర్ ఏ పొజిషన్ ఇన్ సామ్సంగ్, సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, And say for example, Shravanti is also applied in the Samsung. Just I'm giving an example. Okay, you think like you are the very well suited person. He also thinks he is also very suitable person. But at the end of the day, they need to give only to the 1%. Right? So what they do is they will whichever they feel good out of from the buffer pool, they will try to see, go with priority wise. Okay, let's try to see the first one, second one, and third one. If first one finds him very good in even in the interview process and they offer the offer letter, if he not join, then they will look for the second person. సో మనకి ఇప్పుడు ప్రౌడ్లీ యూ మైట్ హ్యావ్ హెడ్ లైక్ గవర్నమెంట్ నోటిఫికేషన్స్, లైక్ ఒకసారి నోటిఫికేషన్ ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత ఫ్యూ పీపుల్ విల్ బి ఇన్ ద వెయిటింగ్ లిస్ట్, like say our railway booking system. Okay, few initially berths will be allocated. After that, people will go and sit in the RAC, and then people will go and sit in the waiting list. Okay, if anyone cancel the ticket, the confirmed ticket, then RAC people will get first, and then waiting list people. That is the general sequence. So this kind of scenarios will also happen in any organization. That is very possible. So it's not like అప్లై చేశాను రాలేదు అని చెప్పేసి, బట్ మేబీ ఇట్ లైక్ మేబీ దే ఆర్ నాట్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ ఆర్ దే హ్యావ్ కమ్ సెవరల్ రీజన్స్. As I told you, it will be good if you communicate that reasons to the candidate, but that is practically impossible.
Yes. Okay.
Any queries?
Sir, I have one doubt. So ఇప్పుడు మాకు Qualcomm కమ్యూనికేషన్ సిస్టమ్స్ నాలెడ్జ్ మీద ఇట్ ఈస్ రిక్రూటింగ్, రైట్? సో ఒకవేళ సెలెక్ట్ అయ్యాక మాకు VLSI లో ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంది అంటే ఎక్కువ, సో మారొచ్చా?
See, okay, forget about the Qualcomm for the time being, but let me tell you in general. Every organization generally will encourage people to do either higher studies, and at the same time they encourage us to switch the teams. Okay, so adi kuda that is ela untundante, once you are into the company, you will be like you will be working with the respective team for some time. After that, you find yourself in a very good whatever the area of interest you have, and then apply for the team internally. And if both the managers agrees, then you can safely transfer. That's not a big deal. And most of the companies where work-life balance is very where company wants to maintain work-life balance, and where company wants to give more importance to the employees, then those companies will definitely allow you to do this kind of switching. And I saw several people either in my current organization or in my previous organization like MathWorks or Samsung. Yeah. Right, people are changing their teams. That's not a big deal. Even myself, I know like a lot of people who are like even people are traveling in different places as well. Like say for example, initially they recruited some of my friends are recruited from IIT Kharagpur, and they recruited in Hyderabad initially, and later they want like they like the work, but at the same time they are not happy with the salary and all. So they simply applied for the US position, and they left to the US, but they are still working with the same Indian team and everything. So those kind of switchings are possible, and the company will encourage them. Every year company will encourage, generally in any company. Is it answers your query, Dr. Valliri?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. And one more thing is, since you asked, like generally ఎలా ఉంటుంది అని అంటే, say for example, if you are interested in a VLSA profile, but now you are recruited in RF, but there are going forward, like generally life ఎలా ఉంటుంది అని అంటే యాజ్ ఏ in early stages, like just after the college or just before the marriage or just before the kids. So you think like okay ఏదైనా చేద్దాము, ఏ కంపెనీకైనా మూవ్ అవుదాము, లేకపోతే ఎక్కడికైనా వెళ్దాము అని చెప్పేసి దట్స్ హౌ ద థాట్ ప్రాసెస్ విల్ బి ఫర్ ద యంగ్స్టర్స్. బట్ గోయింగ్ ఫార్వర్డ్ లైక్ వన్స్ మ్యారేజ్ అయిన తర్వాత లేకపోతే వన్స్ కిడ్స్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత జనరల్గా ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే ఐ సీ లాట్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ లైక్ ఓకే వర్క్ ఈస్ జస్ట్ లైక్ ఎ వర్క్ అండ్ ద మోర్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ విల్ బి లైక్ ఫ్యామిలీ అండ్ కిడ్స్ అండ్ most probably people will look for a location. Okay, I want to work in a companies only I reside. I don't want to change the Hyderabad or Bangalore or Chennai or Delhi or something like that. So that is also like one of the major reason. Then in that case, like what people will do is like they will try to find the best what they can do within the same city, and they'll try to settle down. Even this kind of situations are also happening. So my suggestion to you will be don't keep any restrictions like I need to work on only in the VLSI, or I need to work on only in the computer vision domain, or I want to work on only in the RF related stuff. Don't keep any such restrictions. But my suggestion would be whatever the field you are going to enter that is applicable for the complete ECE what you have studied, like try to be excel in that and try to see what you can contribute to the complete organization. That's what the suggestion I can give. Am I contradicting your interest on the
No, sir, that was just a general doubt. So I asked it.
okay, sure. So generally that's what I suggest to everyone. So like whatever the field you choose, you just be specialized on it. I'm the going for. Let me tell you one more my own experience here. Till I was in college, like I'm not a topper, neither a topper nor like I'm highly programming or motivated or something like that. Till BTech third year, I was like a normal student. And when I was in BTech third year, from one of our college VNRVJIET, I like one person from EIE, he got All India 8th rank in the GATE. Okay, and I took him as an inspiration, and I used to sit in the library for like evening 4 to 8 every day. Okay, and then somehow I cracked the gate and I went to the IIT Kharagpur. By that time, I was thinking like, okay, I am into the ECE profile. I'm into the ECE streaming. So I used to work on the communications like VLSA, like hard coding. Generally, we do in labs, right? Like 80, 81, 85 or 80, 86. We used to write some assembly languages, right? So I was in an impression of doing okay those kind of jobs, but I took the specialization in my MTech was like embedded system and computer vision. That's the place where see yeah, probably you might have aware of MATLAB, right? MATLAB code. Okay, if you simply read like I am read, and if you given some image, the automatically one window will pop up saying what are the Lena image. Okay, let's assume Lena image. The Lena image will automatically will pop up. So with the name whatever you are giving them. So that is a simple because you are not learning anything new. But what my professor asked me to do in IIT lab was don't use any MATLAB for your development. Don't use anything. In completely use only the C programming because you are going into the embedded field and you are going into the computer vision. You are going to expertise the computer vision. So you people should have complete programming left and right. That's the suggestion he gave, and along with whatever the term subject we are going to have, we need to expertise in the programming part as well. That's what he suggested, and it took 1 month for each and every one. Even though we went into the IIT for a simple opening the image and display them on the screen, it took for us to implement that particular file operations code. It took almost like 1 month, and by that 1 month we are not worrying about like we are doing some we are doing what exactly the IMDD is doing. We didn't realize that, but we learned all the C concepts. That's where we fundamentally became very strong with respect to the programming. And I suggest everyone in the bridge currently who are there in the bridge, I suggest everyone to use this kind of methods to improve your programming languages. Right. So at the end of the day, we know we are belongs to the EC category, but at the same time, to survey or like to compete ourselves in the real market, we need to learn basic programming completely. We need to, at the end of the day, we need to have like operating system knowledge. We need to have programming knowledge. We need to have C, C++ knowledge. That is very, very important for us to survey. And during this process, please do not restrict yourself to one particular area. Please be wide and try to do whatever, try to learn whatever you can.
Sir, should we go through the basics of Perl scripting, or we like it's not really that important right now for the interview?
See, how exactly the interview process will be, that I am not really sure. Okay. If they specify a Perl, and if you are already know, then I suggest you to have some background checks, like okay, learn something and clear all your queries. But if you don't know the Perl, and just because of the interview if you are learning, then I won't recommend that approach, because that is not in the classic direction. You are just trying to spend some time on the language that you are not interested and that you are not planning to use, but you are doing it just for the sake of interview. So if this is your process, then I won't recommend you to learn Perl. But if you are really interested uh, in learning the Perl or Python or whatever it may be, and you want to apply them in the future, not for the interview, but in the future, then learn. See, today, one company is coming, let's say Qualcomm or Samsung or Hyundai or whatever it may be. The probability will be whether you will be selected or not selected. But your preparation should not change because of it. You should have your own way of preparing. You should have your own way of learning curve, and you need to follow that approach, and ultimately you will be at the top. That is what I am saying. I know I didn't answer your queries properly, but Spandan, don't mind.
No, so we got the idea. That more than enough.
So I can say Spandan. So Vaishnavi, you are not asking any question.